My presentation today is about love as defined by the Greeks. And you know, the Greeks defined love in a very unique way compared to modern day society. Modern day society says any strong feeling of affection or care or concern for one is considered love. But the Greeks actually had three definitions of love. One being agape, the second being phileo, and the third being eros. Now, I'm not going to talk about eros that much in this presentation because my site is dedicated to agape and phileo, because those are the two that I feel personally that this culture and this modern day society needs to improve upon and to learn more about. When we develop these types of love, we enhance the quality of life of everyone around us, not just ourselves. But it has extreme implications upon ourselves as well, because our personal lives are impacted by the way we perceive the community around us and our situations and circumstances. When we look at the way the Greeks defined love, they had phileo meaning, in a loose translation, brotherly love. You know, the way you care for a friend, or the way you would, but not even with the strength that you would care for your best friend. It would be like, yeah, that person deserves a certain common courtesy because they're a human being, and I kind of like them. Just basically, I kind of like that guy. He's cool. That would be considered phileo. But when we look at agape takes it even a step further and says, I love them regardless of what they've done, regardless of where they've been, regardless of anything. It's that unconditional love. It's that unbiased, unconditional love for not just one person, but for everyone. Because the thing about agape is, if you don't have that kind of love for everyone unconditionally, then you don't truly understand agape. Because it's when you understand it in application to one person, you will instinctually apply it to all those around you. I've learned personally in my life that love is defined by the expression of love. The Vine's Concordant, or the Vine's Expository Dictionary, says that love had its perfect expression among men by what was given, which was, in this case, the Lord Jesus Christ. But we can apply that to, any situation. Agape is when you have that type of love. It's not defined by who you are or what you've done. It's defined by how you react, how you act. It's defined by action. Love is not a noun in the sense of an idea or a concept. Love is a verb. It's an action. Many people have tried to claim that love is a noun. It's something that you can't control. Well, I beg to differ. Love is a cognitive decision that you make in order to bring about a care or a concern for a person other than yourself. Me personally, I choose to love those around me. I don't have to. I could walk around grumpy and, not caring about anyone. It's a choice. It's just as much a choice as it is to not care about something. We choose to care about those around us just as much as we choose to not care about those around us. And yes, sometimes we feel compelled to love certain people or certain things, but at the end of the day, we still made the choice. And my personal heart cry for this generation and for this society is for them to understand love. Because Once one understands love, they have the ability to actually perform love. And love, as defined by Paul in the New Testament, is far more than just a general concept of, oh, I care for those around me. It's pretty deep, I mean, it's not just a general care or concern for those around us. It goes far deeper than any other form of care or concern for those around us. Paul said, basically, and I'm going to paraphrase here for time's sake, if I have all things, if I have all the money in the world, if I have, all the knowledge and the gift of prophecy and understand all the mysteries and all the knowledge, if I could remove mountains, if I give all my goods to feed the poor, I give my life up for others around me, if I don't have love, what's it for? I like the definition that Paul gave. He said, love suffereth long and is kind. Love envieth not. Love vaunteth not itself up. It is not puffed up. It doth not behave itself unseemly. Seeketh not her own. It is not easily provoked. It thinketh no evil. It rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoices in truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. And that's a good definition for agape. That's the general concept behind agape. When we look at the agape kind of love, agape love, is all about caring about others. It's never self-seeking. One of the biggest travesties in this generation, I believe, is this mindset of me, me, me. Forget everybody else. I care about me. But the thing is, I've noticed in my personal life that if I stop caring about me and start caring about others, other people will care about me. And it's not just one person. It's a multitude of people caring about me because I cared about them. And what happens then is, rather than having one person care about me, I have a bunch of people caring about me. And so therefore I don't go without. I don't have to worry about it because I have other people around me to support me. And it becomes this interweaving of people coming together, not necessarily just because we're Christians, but because we care we care for each other as people, and we want to help each other. I've been in situations where if I didn't rely on other people, I literally would have died. And what I learned in those situations was, just completely and utterly fantastic, because I learned that, if I get outside myself and stop worrying about me, 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 and stop worrying about all the things that I care about, other people will pick up the slack. And that's interesting. And if you look back, I was listening to some elders in my church speak tonight, and they were talking about how back in the 50s and the 60s, and when they were kids, they're elders. When they were kids, they never went without, but yet they were broke. They didn't have money. They didn't have means to do the things that they needed to do, but yet they never went without because there was a community. There was people working together. One of the gentlemen was talking about how his family had 3 fruit trees, and they were very prosperous fruit trees. So what they would do is they would take around fruit. Well, they would take this person fruit, and that person would give them vegetables. And then they would take the next neighbor fruit, and they would give them meat. And so therefore they had everything that they needed, but all they really had was fruit. And the thing about that generation was, it was that idea of community, that idea of caring for one another, that developed a generation that was completely unaffected by the economy and all this stuff. Yeah, that stuff was real, and yeah, they didn't have a lot of things that they could have had, but they never went without. They were prosperous because of the fact that they didn't concern themselves with them. Their mindset was, what can I do to help someone else? And when we step outside of ourselves in that manner, and that's what agape is all about. That's what the concept of agape is stepping outside of yourself and moving forward to an idea, to an action beget by a choice to manifest a desired community, caring, loving relationship. It's not about yourself. So much this day and age, people care about themselves more than they do those around them. And that has completely destroyed an entire generation, in my opinion. So, I would urge those who are viewing this video to take that into strong consideration, because that's what it's all about.